As an example problem that gets us looking at units as a way to help understand what's going on in a problem, number 43 on page 13 gives this hypothetical. Says you have to add A and B, and that's going to equal something. They're not very descriptive there, but they are descriptive in describing what A is. They say, for example, we know that A is equal to 1/2 little a t squared, and then we know a little bit more. We know that A has units of meters per second squared, and that T has units of seconds. Now I'm using these square brackets just to designate that we're only looking at the units or the dimensions of that variable. So the question is, given all of that, what are the units of B? What we can do is we can take advantage of the fact that if we're adding two variables, A and B, they must have the same units. We can't add apples and oranges. So these two things have to have the same units, and we know something about A, right? We know there's an equation for it, and we know what the units are for those variables. So just to write this out a little bit differently, if we write this just in terms of the dimensions or the units, we forget the 1/2, and we can write it out this way. Now, just to help out sometimes when I'm doing dimensional analysis or just looking at units, I won't use this slanted line for the ratio. I go ahead and write it out as a numerator and denominator. I think it helps make it look a little bit cleaner. But we're left with this expression right here. And so what do we get? Look at second squared in the numerator, second squared in the denominator. Those cancel. That tells us that the dimensions of A, or units in this case, is meters, and therefore the units of B must also be meters because we're adding them. Just a side note, I'm using dimensions and units interchangeably. Technically they're not. If we were to write the dimensions of A, we would write capital L for length. But so often I'll be using units instead of dimensions. I'll drop this L designation. I'll just refer to it as the SI unit for meters.